Like it or not, in life, you've got to take risks. It can be small or big, fat or slim, long or short, bullish or bearish. But one thing is certain: to live a comfortable and successful life, risks are part of the daily process. While there are different risks you surely take, there are some that rank higher, and you'd surely never miss them. Want to get ahead and know what these risks are? Well then, let's get right into it, as I take you through 10 risks you must take in life. Stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, well, this is Lavish Luxury. If you've not already taken the action, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and let's get you going with some of the best luxury and finance content you can think of. Now, let's head back to what we have for you today. Number 1. Risk getting rejected. There's a common saying that you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and that's why taking this risk is incredibly important. Of course, no one likes rejection, and even though it might usually seem as a step in the way, it might be very disappointing and discouraging to get rejected. But the thing is, rejection also lets you get better. When you get rejected, the next thing you should do is to face and accept it. After doing this, you can then think of how to get better and how to change your approach or procedure to see maybe that's where the problem is from. In other cases, it leaves you better prepared for a next time, or even kind of gives you something that serves as an experience. You're never going to know if you'll get the job or that big contract if you don't try. Even sometimes, rejection might mean we have to move on from there and try something else, and that's why it's important to take the risk of taking a shot at something you want. Number 2. Risk starting over. If there's one thing that scares most people, then it surely is accepting change or doing something all over from scratch. It can be really frustrating to find out that something you've been working on for a long time, or something you've put all your efforts into, didn't quite result in what you wanted. At that point, most people start contemplating whether they need to change, or if they need to just do something else. Well, even though it's not as easy as it sounds, taking the risk of changing what you do and perhaps starting over is something you might have to do to make progress. Progress doesn't come when you try the same thing over and over again. Instead, it only happens when you try something different from what you've already done. However big the risk might seem, it is necessary for success. Number 3. Risk going against general opinion. If you ever want to make it, however small or big, one of the big risks you'll have to take is going against what everyone thinks. There are general beliefs or opinions that you'll surely get from people when you're into something. Either you're running a business or setting up something, and most times it would come from people who believe they know you well, or those who say they've got experience in what you're doing. Now, while it would be naturally easy to go with whatever they have to say and conform with a supposed norm, why not challenge it and go for what you actually believe in? You should not let other people's opinions of you be taken seriously, as you're the one who better understands yourself. In short, if you have doubts about certain things that are believed to be the normal way of things, then you'd surely have to risk finding out if you're right. Number 4. Risk losing friends. There's a local adage that applies that no matter how long children play together, they can never play together forever. Well, what that means, in short, is that in the course for success, or in your bid to embrace change and do better for yourself, or even as you progress in life, friends will come and go. Not all your friends will share your dreams, or have the same motivation to reach the top like you, and that can be a problem sometimes. You'd want to surround yourself with like minds, and those who would support and have things to offer you when you're on a charge towards success. But like it or not, some of your friends won't be part of them. Only true friends will hang on and support you, and even when they don't necessarily believe in your dream, they still try to make it happen. In life, you'd have to take the risk of cutting off some friends, and even as it cannot be easy, it surely is important. Number 5. Risk going for the person of your dreams. We all have that one person we look at and see the perfect partner. It might be because of the way they support you, or because they have certain qualities that just makes you see them as a match. You never know what the other person is thinking. And yeah, what if they're really as interested in you as you are in them? Or what if they're simply willing to give it a go? It would be incredibly disappointing not finding out what could have been by not going for this person and then losing them to someone else. The worst response you'd get is a no. And from what I said earlier regarding rejection, it lets you move on knowing you tried as you aim for something else. This risk is one you'd surely have to take if you really want the best for yourself, because without the right partner, you could be in for an unhappy relationship. Number 6. Risk getting incredibly rich. Being rich is probably one of the biggest dreams of many people. But what they might or might not know is that to get incredibly rich, you've got to take big risks. Things are not usually easy for those who want to be wealthy, especially when they're starting out with nothing. But the ability to take solid risks might just be the factor that propels them to riches. Most times, it is advisable to take these risks when you're young. And this is even one of the most important pieces of advice you can ever give a young person. As it is commonly said, if you don't play the risk game while you're young, you're going to play the blame game while you're old. Number 7. Risk admitting that you don't know. Half the time, there's a huge chance that majority of people in a room have no idea about something, but rather than ask, they'd prefer to sit back and choose ignorance. Well, not knowing about something should not be an embarrassing thing, and if for anything, it should even be praised. There is a big difference between knowing and not knowing, and there's a whole lot that can change when you're in either of these situations. Admitting you don't know might usually be a hard thing, but it's a risk you have to take. Those who ask questions are those who are mostly successful. Number 8. Risk missing out in order to achieve something greater. Sometimes we are left in a situation where we have to decide whether we should try something or just sit back and relax with the hope that something bigger comes. This is one of the really big risks that you'd have to take in life, especially if you're trying to make yourself better or aiming for something big. The truth is, there's a risk that what you miss out on becomes that key thing you were looking for, and then again, there's also the risk that it's not. While it can be a really confusing subject, you'll have to make these choices, and sitting out some would be of benefit to you if only you take the risk. Number 9. Risk being yourself when everyone wants you to be someone else. You'll always come across people who will tell you they expect you to be like someone instead of actually working on yourself to be better. This could be perhaps due to the level of success attained by the person, and probably with that, they expect that modeling yourself like that person will make you them. Now, the thing is, not only do you not become who you try to copy or let's say model, you're unlikely to keep up with it, and then at that point, it would probably be too late to find yourself. You should not live your life based on the meaningless expectations of people. You own your life. You make your decisions, and you set your expectations, and as such, taking a risk to be yourself, regardless of what others might think, is one you definitely have to take. Number 10. Risk putting everything on the line. This ranks as one of the most scariest risks on the list. Sometimes, doing a particular thing and being successful at it requires you to risk it all. And by that, I mean putting everything on the line. Whether it's money, time, resources, or simply anything worthy of giving up, we'll all be faced with the challenge of risking those things to chase something big. This is mostly difficult because it could plunge you into the unknown. But then, without taking this kind of risk, you're also likely to never be as successful as you want, or even successful at all. Risks comes with consequences, and that's what makes them a tough decision to make. However, taking risks is that line between being successful and living a mediocre life. Which of these do you think is most important? Kindly respond in the comments section, and don't forget to like the video and also subscribe to the channel, as well as turn on the notification bell button. See you in the next video.